So welcome back to DecoyNoise and another episode of Am I the Antagonist? And am I the antagonist for saying, what did she expect? When my girlfriend told me her best friend's affair partner had vanished into thin air when she told them that she was pregnant. So we're on another episode of Furlough DecoyNoise where my supplies are running thin, but my spirit is running high because everybody here is kind of giving me good feedback. They're also subscribing down below. I'm hearing all sorts of things about how much people hate hearing me talk and the sound of my voice, but I'm hearing good stuff too. But we're here to judge strangers online, not me, right? So let's just get to this topic right now. So OP writes, I've been with my girlfriend coming up to 1 year now. Her best friend has been having a 3-month affair with a married man, and she knows he's married. She found out she was pregnant a month back, and he has completely disappeared into thin air. He has blocked or deleted her from Tinder, and she even never got his real name. They both went by aliases. And now she's desperately searching for him on Facebook, but nothing even in the ballpark has come up. The guy offered her some abortion money and offered to go with her. She refused because she has a 3-year-old and she wants a sibling for her baby. I can't say I didn't see him disappearing. He's a piece of crap coward for having an affair in the first place, and so of course he's gonna abscond from pregnancy from his side chick too. From my perspective, it's fairly obvious that he was using my girlfriend's friend, and she should have either known that or had been prepared to deal with the consequences. My girlfriend is very worried about her friend and keeps talking to me about it and asking what I think, even though I made it clear I didn't approve of either of their trashy behavior. I told her, well, what did she expect? And she keeps asking me if I think, as a man, is it possible he will come back? I said, heck no. Sometimes, especially within the context of a couple talking, let's be frank, we won't always be politically correct. Very true. She flipped her crap and told me that my attitude towards her pregnant friend is misogynistic and I'm being heartless. I don't think I am, and I feel like I'm allowed to have an obvious opinion such as that. So usually what we do with DecoyNoise, we take the topic at hand, we take it to Decoy Court where I give you my knee-jerk reaction, we go over some top comments, we go over some of those more fun controversial comments, I look at your comments down below, we do some decoy deliberation to figure out who indeed is the antagonist here. So let's go ahead and go through this story on my side and say, let's just add up all the factors right now. They met on Tinder, she knows that he's married to somebody else, she never got his real name, and then he offered her money to terminate the pregnancy. So why do they think that it would be any different? And she says, oh, as a man, will he turn around and say, like, step up? It's like, as a man, he told you through all of his actions and verbally and offering to pay for it that he was not interested in being anything with this child. So as an adult, you should understand that he is not coming back around to this. The only thing I'll say is OP over here said that I don't approve of the trashy behavior, and you know, she should have seen this coming. It's like, you know what, like at some point in time, you don't need to say it. Like, I think that everybody eventually grows out of having to say, like, told you so, I told you so, I knew. Like, we need to always remind ourselves that this thread is called Am I the Antagonist? It's not, am I right? Am I justified? Is this what I should have done? It's just, am I the antagonist? Which is meaning, were you mean when you could have been nicer? Were you being an antagonist when you could have been the protagonist? Could you have just shut your damn mouth and, you know, let your girlfriend vent? Let her gossip. Let her just kind of, like, you know, wrap her head around the situation, because honestly, I don't see her as being able to, not being able to, I don't see the girlfriend as coming in this situation saying, I'm going to my boyfriend about this crazy situation my best friend's going through. I want you to solve it. I want you to have something in your back pocket you can say, you're going to make us feel better. That's not what they're asking for. They're just asking for comfort in the situation so they can talk it out. They can talk it out when they can kind of get over it, and then they'll be okay. There's nothing, they're not asking for his solution. They're not asking for him to say, like, to keep on burying her best friend in this, the guilt of her situation. There's nothing they can do. Now, the one thing is, I don't really agree with her yelling at him saying, like, oh, you're being misogynistic towards my pregnant friend. I don't like this new wave of people that say, like, hey, here's this keyword you don't want to be, and I'm gonna shove it at you, and that's what's gonna make you kind of back off. You're gonna change your mind. Like, what do I get in the comment section? Like, oh, you're a decoy, you're a simp, or decoy, what a cuck thing to think, or you sound like a right winger. And it's like, they expect me to hear that word, like misogyny, and you're like, oh no, I'm not that. Here, let me tell you why I'm not that. It's a kind of this weird, like, compliance test where they think they can shove this hot word at you, and you're just gonna kind of back off. Like, I feel like they think that right here, it's like they want to use that word like a Harry Potter spell, like misogyny, and you go, oh no, I can't say anything anymore, like I'm done, I'm toast, like, oh, you're a cuck, Decoy, and I'm like, oh, I'm not a cuck, and back off. It's like, what? It's such a weird place we're in right now, where it's like if you can tag somebody with a phrase, it's like, you know, you don't want to be attached to it. Oftentimes they back off, and I'm not a big fan of that. But like I say, this is Decoy Court, so my knee-jerk reaction is a very soft, everyone sucks here. I think OP sucks because he's saying stuff that he doesn't need to say. Like, he could have been nicer, and he's not. I think the girlfriend's being an antagonist for, like, you know, trying to say, you're misogynistic and you're this. Like he said, in the confines of a relationship, you're not always going to be super politically correct. You're just going to be kind of candid with each other. So she doesn't need to pile on to him for having an opinion, although maybe you could keep that damn opinion to himself. Like, your facts have no home here. Like, just shut your mouth. And then also, the best friend is the antagonist because she is trying to break up this marriage. Not saying that she doesn't have the right to break up the marriage. Like, it's the guy that's cheating on his wife that's breaking up the marriage, but she just needs to either accept, like, hey, look, you play with fire, you got burned, that's it. But like I say, oftentimes I'm wrong, oftentimes I learn things in the comments, so drop your comment down below, take a brief break, and tell me something that I don't know, or just make fun of me and make me laugh. I don't care. Earn yourself that Decoy Koi coin, because we're just throwing them out like, I want to say hotcakes, but I don't even think that's applicable right now. But let's go ahead and read that top comment down. So the top reply is, not the antagonist. It doesn't take a man to see that he's not coming back. What did she expect him to do? Leave his partner for her when they didn't even tell each other their actual names? I think him offering to pay for the abortion was a clear, not very subtle hint that he wanted nothing to do with the child, and an extension, her, if she has a child. Very true. And then OP comes back and says, I feel sorry for the unborn child. Her toddler does not have a dad in his life either. Just sad. She's very educated and a successful lady. Not saying that she's struggling, but it's good for kids to have both parents where possible. Both have failed the kid before it's even out of the womb yet, in my opinion. Which is true. Like, you'd rather that they had the two parents and, you know, had the traditional family, like, being raised by, like, both parents. But it sounds like, you know, she already has one kid, she has a job, she's educated, she's gonna do okay with, like, by herself. But just the idea that, you know, it sucks that this is the situation, but it's not the worst thing in the world right now. And then somebody got their comment deleted, so I'm guessing that that thread right there was gonna go down the down a bad path. But let's go ahead and read this next top comment. Not the antagonist. She knew what she was getting into, and you're being honest. I guess it's her friend but that's no excuse for her behavior. Very true, where it's like, why does the girlfriend have to get irritated at OP? Obviously, we kind of covered that before, where it's like OP saying stuff that he shouldn't be. But I mean, it's kind of bizarre that her best friend doing something that she probably shouldn't have been doing is causing an argument between a third party, like OP and his girlfriend. So that's kind of sad. And let's look at the reply from OP on that one, saying, yeah, I asked my girlfriend to consider how it would look if my best friend was knowingly engaging in cheating / helping a woman cheat. I don't want her to stop hanging out with her friend just because I said so, but it just doesn't sit right with me. So I get that, where maybe he thinks that he would catch flack if his best friend was sleeping with a married woman and got her pregnant, and all of a sudden was just like, no, I gotta back out of this, or some situation where he thinks it's a double standard on this end. So whether or not that's the actual case, it could be a thing where maybe it's just in the short story we don't know all the factors. So let's go ahead and see the reply to that. Hey OP, I just want to point out that your girlfriend is avidly defending a knowing homewrecker and seeking revenge on an uninvolved misfortunate wife. These aren't really good morals to go by if you're in a relationship. I feel like you should really reconsider if you're serious about your girlfriend, even if you think she'd never do that to you. Edit. Homewrecker is someone who deliberately involves themselves, romantically or sexually, with someone who's committed. Don't know why there's confusion on this. It doesn't shift blame away from the cheater, it's just a name for the cheatee. Okay. And I tend to read OP's comments if she has any extra info. And it's in one of the comments that he mentioned the girlfriend wants to seek revenge on the wife, unless I got that wrong somehow. So that is true, where it's in a vacuum. Would the girlfriend's best friend be cheating on, or helping this guy cheat, where maybe she may or may not, there's a phrase, she may or may not want to actually be okay with having it, helping the guy have an affair. But if she's in a group of friends where she has, like, you know, a group chat or a Zoom call, or just, you know, all her friends are like, oh my god, look at that guy, he's attractive and you should definitely be doing it, oh haha, like, this is cool, she's totally gonna do it. But if she went back to her friends and they all like super judged her, saying, I can't believe you're willing to, like, you know, he has a family, he has he has kids, don't do that to him, don't do that, you're better than that. If she was just surrounded by a group of judgmental girls, she's much less likely to be going through with that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like if you have personal experiences down below, I'd like to hear that as well. But just the idea that I could see why these other posters are concerned with the idea that, hey, if she's willing to do it if she's willing to give her stamp of approval on her friend cheating or her friend sleeping with a married man, what are they willing to reciprocate towards your girlfriend? So it's a bit of a stretch, but I understand where they're coming from. But let's go ahead and read a reply to that. The way I saw it is find the wife for revenge against the married guy. Like, find her and tell her as revenge on the married guy for bailing, which is true, where it's like, you know, they're just going like the nuclear option at this point in time, where it's like, okay, well, if I'm not happy, if I'm not getting him, then you're not getting him, everybody's gonna be broken up, it's all terrible. So not saying that the guy doesn't have it coming, but just the idea that, you know, this is all this unnecessary stuff. But let's go ahead and read one more top comment. So this poster says, not the antagonist, but truthful. Sounds like she was a bit naive. People don't use aliases to cover themselves, but then magically come to the light when there's a pregnancy. Very true. And then OP comes back to say, she wants to find the wife also for revenge. There we go. She asked my girlfriend to help. She asked other friends of hers to help also. I think it's getting messy, as of course it would. Yeah, and it's getting messy. Like, obviously people are suffering the consequences of not having enough to do. Like, I would hope to think that you'd be productive and happy in your life enough where you have enough good things going on that you don't have enough time to sit there trying to find some of your friends' Tinder hookups wife on Facebook. Like, that's such a bizarre way to spend your time. Like, oh, we're gonna get her now. It's like, that's kind of, it's very, very I don't want to say that's, I don't have a good phrase for that, but I wish they had something better to do with their time. But let's go ahead and read a reply to that. At this point, you need to ask yourself, are you okay with your girlfriend being friends with a homewrecker? She knew the guy was married and still went for it. There's a high probability she wants revenge more than her child. Or revenge more than her child. Oh, geez. And then elaborating the reasons why. Twisting the narrative to fit her friend's story into making you the misogynist and the heartless one is a major red flag. That's very true. Your girlfriend knows the whole situation, yet you somehow became the antagonist in her eyes, despite her asking for your opinion. These are red flags. Red flags, OP. Good luck, not the antagonist. And that is true, where like I was saying, like somehow her friend being, I'm not going to like label her a homewrecker unless she actually goes out there and like wrecks at home, but the idea that the girlfriend cheating, or the girlfriend's friend helping this guy cheat on his wife turns the OP and the antagonist. Like, you're the misogynist. It's like, wait, what? I was just a spectator on the sideline. Like, how'd that happen? So, I mean, like I say, always, the top comments are for perspective. And I think we did get good perspective in the idea that I wasn't quite ready to go after the friend as a homewrecker, but a lot of people are suggesting that because she is indeed looking for revenge, which is, I mean, I guess I'm not in that emotional state where I'm feeling like I'm being deserted as like a single mother in that situation. So maybe if I switch shoes with them, I would be feeling the same way, where I need to seek revenge. But I guess I really don't know. But I mean, let's go ahead and look at those controversial comments, because like we say on DecoyNoise, top comments are for perspective. Controversial comments are for fun. So the top controversial comment is, I would go with a very gentle, you're the antagonist. I believe you're correct, but you could have chosen a better way to express it. A simple, I think he was using her and will never come back, probably would have sufficed. And that's the sad thing, is that is essentially what my response was. Like, hey, you don't always have to be right. Like, you can just, there's a nicer way to put it. He said that and he got the controversial opinion. So let's go ahead and see the next reply to that controversial comment. So they're writing, why does he owe his girlfriend's friend any respect? What has she done to earn sympathy? She selfishly didn't accept the abortion money because she wants to raise 2 children. And the ghost dude is absolutely the antagonist. Yes, the guy that was cheating on his wife is the antagonist, and you know, he's a ghost dude in this context. But just the idea that, why does he owe the girlfriend's friend any respect? And that's why I feel like we're going down the path of, it's not about being right, and it's not like I don't owe you any respect because you do something that's despicable to me. Hey, whatever. Everybody makes mistakes. Like, you can not agree with the way somebody lives their life and still just be nice to them. Like, even though they do terrible things, as long as it's not like actually like harming somebody. Like this, I don't want to say this isn't a victimless crime, this situation, but just the idea that it's like, in the grand scheme of all the things she could be doing, really has nothing to do with you. You don't need to pile on and say like, I don't respect the way you live your life, so I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna start saying negative. It's like, you can still respect the person. It's fine. Like, it looks like she's gonna have to suffer the consequences of her actions anyway. So whether or not you don't approve of it doesn't change the fact that she has a long path ahead of her. So I mean, that's what I think. So let's go ahead and see the next top controversial comment, which is, a soft, you're the antagonist. You have the right to disagree with your friend's behavior, and I agree that it's a predictable outcome, but there's also nothing more unhelpful in a crisis than saying, what did you expect? It reads like you're washing your hands of a situation that has your girlfriend feeling upset, and that can be kind of a bummer. Her friend is obviously self-destructive, and I don't think it's sexist to think that her friend shouldn't have gotten herself in the situation, but maybe your girlfriend just needs a little more from you. Maybe she's worried that something like this could happen to her. Maybe she's worried that her friend will spiral because of this experience. You never know where another person's head is at the moments like this. So maybe you should ask her why it's so upsetting for her instead of blowing it off as a simple, predictable outcome. I definitely don't think it's a huge deal though. Seems like kind of a typical man/woman dynamics. You'll probably be fine. And the sad thing is, this guy got negative 23 votes, and I kind of agree with him the most, where this isn't the biggest a deal. You probably could have been a nicer person, and this person doesn't think it's sexist to think that the friend got herself, like, you know, she dug her own hole in this situation. I feel like that's the same thing I was thinking. It's like a soft antagonist. Like, you could have handled this better. And I think that once everybody hears the cheater, the affair, if anybody reading the post has been the victim of cheating or the victim of a family where, like, you know, the parents were broke up or like anything like this, they automatically want to give the biggest punishment to the person that's doing the cheating. So everybody wants to pile on, not really thinking that this isn't about them. We're not judging them in the situation. We're judging OP. Is he the antagonist? And it's like, yeah, very likely he needs to manage his relationship, not necessarily the relationship of him and the girlfriend. So that's why I kind of feel like it should be more confined to that situation. So obviously, I probably have the wrong opinion because this guy got blasted so hard. But like I always say, the DecoyNoise, the decoy society in the comment section is a lot more civil, a lot more we have better discussions down below. So I'd like to know what you guys are thinking down below. Let me know, because you can earn yourself that decoy coin. But like always, if you made it to this far in the video, I want to say thank you for hanging out with me, being on this furlough with me. If anything, check out the DecoyNoise.com website to fill out more surveys, give me more feedback as far as what we should be doing with the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, because the channel growth is just it was going really good, and all of a sudden I'm not really growing anymore. So if anything, put this on autoplay and check out more DecoyNoise coming up next.